Changing minds one thought at a time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Changing Minds online show. Good evening, Akina. How you doing tonight?
I am great. How about yourself, Jessica?
I am doing awesome. You know, I just actually came back from a weekend-long leadership retreat, and, you know, many of you know I've been doing a leadership course for the last 90 days, and it is completed now, and I've learned a lot. I'm so excited to share with you some of what I learned and really kind of get on to our topic tonight. So, Akina, tonight we're talking about change. You know, change is really difficult for a lot of people. So many people just want to stay where they are. And, you know, it's almost that, like, evil that you don't know, or the evil you know, right, is better than the evil you don't. So a lot of times people just get, and I know I listen to Jeffrey Combs often, and he says comfortably uncomfortable, where you're just stuck where you are and you're not really happy and you know that you're not living your ideal life, but you just don't want to do anything about it because you're afraid to make that change. Either you don't really want to put the effort into it, you don't know what the consequences are going to be, or, you know, you just get used to being where you are. You know, Kina, can you relate to that?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. You know, in many of the situations I've been in my life, being an introvert, I have to push myself a little harder because, you know, introverts love to be in their comfort zone. They love to be where they're used to. And change really throws us for a loop. And so, you know, but change is definitely something that happens every day. And, you know, once you get that into your mindset and you know that you have to change in order to elevate, that's when change starts to become welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously if you're listening to this call tonight, you know, you're doing so because there's something that you want from life. You know, if your life was absolutely perfect, and all of our lives are perfect, but meaning that you were completely fulfilled, completely and totally living into your purpose, if there was nothing more at all that you wanted to achieve, you know, you probably wouldn't be on this call. Anyone who's listening to a call about personal development, you know, our mission and mottos, you can change your mindset and then change your life as a result. That's really the premise or the context that we operate, you know, on from Changing Minds Online. You know, you wouldn't be listening tonight if you weren't looking for some sort of change in your life. Now, here's the thing, right? In order to actually improve your life, in order to create the life that you want to live, it actually requires changing. You know, you can't create the life you want to live and be exactly where you are. It's not possible. You know, in order to grow, it actually requires that you leave something behind, that you go someplace different. And being open to change and being willing to change is really crucial in taking that step. So there's a lot of aspects to change we want to talk about. You know, I actually chose this topic tonight for you because for a long time I was a person who really didn't want to make a change. You know, I am right now living in an apartment, and I've been in this apartment since really I graduated college. And, you know, now I'm 28, about to be 29 in a couple months, and I've outgrown it. You know, I live in a basement apartment, and there's no windows, and there's one small window, and I never liked that. I always loved there to be a lot of windows. I love to have fresh air, and I wasn't happy. You know, I wanted an outdoor space. I love to be able to eat outside, and I didn't have that in my current apartment. And for years I would look at apartments online, and I would find places that, wow, I said I would really love to live here. But I never actually did. I never really took that chance or took that step because I was accustomed. And it was just, I was comfortable in the sense that, you know, it worked. And there was nothing horrible about it. There was nothing painful about it. There was really nothing great about it either. There was nothing exciting about it. But it worked. And I was used to it. And it didn't require any effort. And there wasn't a possibility of something going wrong, right? I knew that I could come home and be okay here. But changing, well, that was a different story. You know, what if I didn't meet people if I were to move? You know, what if my neighbors turned out to be not that great? What if something was wrong with the apartment? You know, what if? But the truth is, I was stuck and I wasn't happy. And recently, I started to actually understand and really get connected to the cost of staying here, right? The cost of being in my apartment and being okay but not really happy. And that was that I wasn't really happy, right? That, I wasn't really excited to come home to my space. And I'm very grateful, don't get me wrong, for a roof over my head and for having a place that I could be comfortable in. But, I really understood, okay, if I actually want to really create my life by design, I'm going to need to actually change. In order to make my life better, in order to grow, I have to be willing to change. If you're not willing to change, you can't actually receive the blessings that are in store for you. So recently I've actually decided I'm going to move, and I don't want to make too many announcements yet on where I'm doing, what I'm going, but things are in the works, and I've reached out to people in my network to support me. And, I spoke to my parents about, supporting me in something which I really want to do and something that's very, very special to me and a place I want to move that I'd be very connected to. And they're willing to support me in that. And I'm working to really do something that's going to really make a big change in my life. And for me, this is an apartment. For you, it could be something else. Perhaps you have a job. I never say the word, but you know how to spell, so you know what that spells. Perhaps you have one of those things that you really don't love. Maybe it's paying the bills, and so you're comfortable. You can, pay your electricity bill. You can put food on your table, but it's a drag. You get up every day and you just do the same thing over and over, and it's become monotonous, and you're just not happy anymore. You're not excited anymore to get up and go to this job, and you're just saying, I'm so ready. I'm so ready to do something different, but you're afraid to make that change. What if I decide to become an entrepreneur and things don't go right? What if I quit my job and find one that I do like? Because maybe it's just your company and not your industry. And then, what if something goes wrong there? What if I don't have the security and the stability and something, doesn't go perfectly? Well, then I'm going to really be, I'm going to really regret it. So I should just stay stuck where I am. That's not a way to live. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I truly believe that you can have everything that you want, that you can create your life by design. And the only way to do so is to be open. If you're not willing to change, you're not open to receiving the blessings that God has for you. You can sit here and you can pray and you can do your affirmations and you can do your vision board and you can make a list of everything that you want, and you should be doing all those things. I do them every day. I get up, I meditate every day. It's the first thing I do. One of my mentors, Susan Sly, taught me to not even put my phone in the bedroom, to just keep it outside, because the first thing you should do every day is really just meditate and look at what you want your life to look like. So every day I wake up, the absolute first thing I do is to meditate for 15 minutes at least every morning about what I want my life to look like. If you come to my apartment, and I've shared this before, I don't think I've shared it in a while, but you'll see affirmations everywhere. They're on the mirror in my bedroom. They're on the mirror in my bathroom. They're on the refrigerator. They're on the door when I leave my house. They're on my desk. They're on my computer. They're behind me on my desk. They're everywhere you look. There's affirmations about what I'm creating, about how I want to see myself, how I want to show up in this world. So I'm constantly seeing, I'm constantly looking at what I'm creating. So it's influencing all my decisions. I have so many affirmation boards. I have an affirmation board about fitness on my refrigerator. So, when I'm at 10:30 at night and I'm ready for bed and maybe craving something, because I'm a woman, and, any woman on this call knows, right? We have hormones. There's times where we just crave things, so I stay on track. I'm not pulling, whatever it is. I eat very healthy, but still I'm not going and taking snacks in my refrigerator, that I don't need to have at that time of night. So I'm looking, whatever it is. I have affirmation boards, vision boards about what I want to do in my business, in my office. I carry them with me in my planner. Akeen and I created a planner. I Can Create Your Life. It's on Amazon. You can take your vision boards with you. They're integrated into our planners. I use that planner. I didn't just make it and put it on Amazon. I actually made that planner for myself, and because it worked and I wanted to generously share with you guys, we put it on Amazon. But, I have them everywhere. So do all those things. But the truth is, if you are afraid to change, if you're closed to the universe, you're doing it in vain because you're sending mixed signals. It's kind of like, going to fill up. I go to the gym, right? And I want to fill up my water bottle. It's like going to the water fountain and putting my bottle underneath the water and pressing the pedal so the water comes out, but having the cap closed in the water bottle, right? The water's just falling down and splashing and nothing's going in the bottle, and I'm getting wet and I'm getting a mess, and the girls behind me and the guys behind me, they're looking at me like, oh, who's this crazy lady just putting a water bottle underneath a faucet and it's not even open? Well, that's really what we're doing. Right, we're asking God for things. We're sending signals to the universe that we want things, but we're also closed to receiving something. If you want something different in your life, you have to be willing to change. Take that risk. It could be scary, but it's the only logical step. Akina, I know that, we're similar in many ways, and I think that's why we attracted each other to do the show together. I think that's why we work together so well. I know change for you can be as difficult as it is for me. Can you talk a bit about your experience with change and maybe give us an example of a time in your life where, making a change that was scary wound up actually producing a really phenomenal result?
Wow. Yes. Change is definitely difficult. I am the type of person that gets comfortable in their surroundings, and then, when change comes, I get bored easily, so I want the change to come, but when the change comes, it's like, oh, and, a lot of us are that way. And my example would be how I ended up in Huntsville, Alabama. I received a job with my university, and they had me in lovely, sunny Irvine, California. And my family was in Nashville, Tennessee. And it would take me 4.5 hours by plane to go see my family. And then this opportunity came up to move to Huntsville, Alabama, where the 4.5-hour plane ride turned into a 1.5-hour car ride. And now the family was ecstatic. But I wasn't ecstatic right away. Like, I gotta move, I gotta pack, I gotta leave this campus. What if the campus doesn't like me? What if those students don't like me? All these things came to my head when, the natural thing would be, wow, you're getting ready to be closer to your family. You're getting ready to embark on new things. You're getting ready to have bigger opportunities. You're getting ready to really show what you can do. But I was worried about being uncomfortable. But once I got past the fact that comfort was part of the deal, that's when everything changed. And I made the decision to move, and I packed everything up. And was it a mess when I first got here? Absolutely. But in the end, I ended up with an even better promotion, ended up in corporate with my same university, and doing even bigger and better things to help others get to where they want to be in life. So had I just stayed right there where I was in Irvine, I would have never received any of these opportunities. I would have never met the people that I needed to meet, and I would have never learned the skills that I needed to go to my next level.
Really powerful, and that's the thing about it is that, when you make that change, it's out of your comfort zone. And in moving to Huntsville, was out of your comfort zone. You were comfortable in Irvine, and it was that leap of faith, right, that everything's going to work out. Well, when you're taking that leap of faith that everything's going to be okay, that everything's going to work out, that you're going to be taken care of, what you're really actually saying is that the world is an abundant place and that I'm going to be okay with it, that I'm going to always get everything that I need. And when you start to view the world from that type of mindset, you're going to begin to attract the things that you need to get where you want to be and to actually create the life that you want to live. So, we talk about really being like agents of change, knowing that change is really powerful and that change is something that we can actually seek after. And, that's really the first aspect of change, is just understanding that change, is a requirement for us to grow. It's impossible to grow if you're not changing, right? If you're just staying the same, you're not growing. And that's something that's really important and really powerful for us to look at. And, there's a second kind of conversation that we have around change, and there's a second kind of way that change impacts what we're doing. So, we talked about knowing that we need to be willing to change. The other aspect is believing that we're capable of creating change. A lot of times we might do things, but we ultimately believe we're not enough, or we're not capable of actually creating a change in this world. And that can also present us with kind of getting stuck. So we really want to free you up today around the conversation about change. So, I have one of my favorite quotes. I actually want to share this quote with you. It comes from the song "What Faith Can Do" from Cutlass. And what it actually says is that it doesn't matter what you've heard. Impossible is not a word. It's just a reason for someone not to try. And I want to share a kind of experience I've had recently in my life where, I actually decided that there was nothing I can do about something. I wasn't going to be able to change the situation, and I gave up. I just didn't try until I did. And for me, like I said, I told you earlier on the call, I just came back from a leadership conference, so a weekend event. It was the culmination experience of a 90-day course I took. So, in this 90-day course, we set certain goals for ourselves, and they were in all areas of our life. And when I got to a point in my journey through this 90-day experience where I thought, okay, you know what, it's just not going to be possible for me to reach these goals, and there's nothing I'm going to do about it. I can't change it. I just made up a lot of excuses about how, I set myself up not to win. There was nothing that I can do. And I had this story I created around the situation that just said ultimately, well, I can't do anything about it. I can't change it. And so I just checked out. I just decided, you know what, this just can't be done. And that's just how it is. I'm not going to be able to do this. And actually, until I got in the car driving up there, I had not achieved the goals that I set forth for myself in those 90 days. And then, I got in that car and I put that song on, "What Faith Can Do." And that line just really resonated with me. It doesn't matter what you've heard. Impossible is not a word. It's just a reason for someone not to try. And I had this light bulb, like this aha moment that went off and said, wow, I didn't even try. For the last 30 days or so of this 90-day journey, when it looked like things were going to get hard, when I may not be able to accomplish this, when I thought I couldn't change something, I just said, I'm just not going to try. Because it's easier, right? It's easier to, if you try and it doesn't work, well, then you kind of lose, right? So it's easier to just not try because then you have nothing to lose, and it's less work, so it's easy to kind of create this story of, well, I can't change it, so therefore I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to try and do it. It doesn't serve you. So when I got in the car, like I said, I had not achieved these goals. I was actually around 70% of the goals that I had said I was going to do. And I got in the car and I said, you know what? Let's just give this a shot. And now I have about 40 minutes where I'm driving from the location of where I was until where I needed to go. And I just said, and I wasn't driving, thank goodness. I was able to use my phone. Someone else was driving. I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever I can in this last 40 minutes. I'm just going to believe that I can change this situation, that I can go to this conference and have achieved the goals I said I was going to achieve. Now, it just, seemed impossible. I mean, it's crazy, right? It's absolutely ludicrous to think that I can do something in 40 minutes that I should have been doing over the last 90 days. But I said, you know what, change is possible. And I had that shift in mindset, that shift in my vibrational energy, that shift in the context that I was coming from, that little tiny shift that I just said for 1 minute, I allowed myself to believe I can change this. And I did. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. It's just, I just told the world, okay, the God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. I just said I can create this change, and I did create the change. I created it in 40 minutes. It was like my Hail Mary shot that shot where it's like 2 seconds on the clock and you're at the foul line and the opposite court in basketball and you just throw it over your shoulders, not even looking, and it goes to the net and you win the game. It's like, wow, how did that work? Just believing from your heart that you can create a change. Now, I'm not suggesting you wait to the last minute like I did. That's not, I'm sharing this story because I learned my lesson that, we need to operate all the time, like even when it seems impossible, that we can make that change, because we can. What if everyone in the world, what if enough people in the world believed that world peace was possible? Maybe it could be. What if you actually did all of the things that you did, the intention behind the activities, the steps you took to create the life that you want to live, you did so with the mindset of that I actually can create a change in my life? How different would your results be? How many people here, and I know that Keen and I are both professional network marketers, and, so many people all the time, they get on the phone and they have this preconceived idea that this doesn't work for them. Well, I get it. I've been to the events. It works for other people. I even have friends, right? I've seen people in my life that it works for them. I've seen people make more money. I've seen people even go on stage that I didn't knew and enrolled after me in my business. But it works for them. It doesn't really work for me. I can't do it. I can't create that change in my life. But I'm going to call anyway because I went to this conference and they said this is what to do. So I'm going to do the doing, and I'm going to be in the totally wrong mindset. But I'm going to do the doing and we'll see if it works. Well, guess what? It's not going to work because you pick up the phone and you're like, hey, so I have this video, and I kind of think maybe you can look at it, and you don't have to look at it. I mean, maybe you'll look at it, and if you like it, I don't know if you're going to like it, but if maybe you'll like it, and if you do like it, then you can call me back. If you want, no pressure, you don't have to call me back, but if you decide that you do have a few minutes to watch this video, and if you like it and it's not too much work or effort, then maybe you can call me maybe at a later time, that if it works for you. And that I might be exaggerating, but energetically, people can pick up on it. People know. It's in your voice. It's in your energy behind what you're doing. People know if you think it's actually possible. If there's something extraordinary you want to do in your life. I'm working on creating a 501c3, to really empower women. If when I'm making these phone calls to the people in my network and I'm, asking for donations, I'm asking for contributions to the project in terms of services, if I didn't have the authority in my voice that I believe I can do what I'm doing, do you think people would make those donations? Of course not. But I'm speaking of authority. With a voice of authority. I'm speaking from an energetic mindset that's grounded in I have the ability to create the change that I'm looking for. And I'm requesting support, and people are attracted to it. As a matter of fact, just because I'm grounded in that mindset of change, people are drawn to it. I mean, just people are showing up that are supporting my project that I don't even seek out. And that's the way that you get to be. You get to be a powerful magnet that this attracts everything and anything you need or want to create the life of your dreams if you believe you can make a change. Believe it. Believe that you are enough, that you matter enough, that you can change your community. You can change your relationships. You can change your finances. You can change your JOB. You can change your relationships. Ladies, are you stuck in relationships that aren't working? I recently changed my relationship status. I was in a relationship. It didn't work for me. I wasn't happy. The person was great, so I stayed in it for a long time until I realized, hey, I'm enough to change this. I don't have to be here. I don't have to be stuck. Is there a health situation? Did someone tell you that there's something that you can do? Operate from the mindset that you can change it. I have a neurological illness. The doctors told me there's nothing we can do to treat it. I went to naturopathic doctors, and multiple naturopathic doctors said to me, there's nothing we can do to treat it. I just keep looking for someplace else, for someone else who tells me something different, because I choose. And it's a choice. Listen to my language. It's important. I choose to believe that I can change it. It is a choice. If you think you can change it, you can. If you think you can't, no matter what you think, you're right. If you think you can't change it, you're right. You can change it. If you think you can change it, then go change it. Everybody thought they couldn't until they found out they could. Everyone thought there wasn't a treatment for something until they found out there was. Everyone thought there wasn't you might think there's not a better, JOB out there for you until you find out there is. But first, you need to make the choice that you're capable of being that change. It's really just that simple. It's really just a choice. Kina, I know that we're coming close to 9:30, but I know that, what would you want to add to that conversation about really just being capable of being that change agent?
Wow, Jessica, that was definitely powerful. You're right, Jessica. There's no need to settle. Don't sit there and settle for mediocre when you are destined for greatness. Don't sit there and take mediocre because you think you don't want to go through the change. You don't want to go through the process of the change. You don't want to go through the uncomfortableness of the change. Go through the change. Get your greater. You deserve it. You do not deserve to be live in mediocrity. Get your change. Get your greater.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we firmly, like I said, we believe that you can create the life of your dreams. That's why we titled our journal, our planner, I Can Create My Life. We want you to know that you can create that life, that your life that you want to live. You can be the change, welcome it, embrace it, grow with it. You deserve it. You're capable of it. You're worthy of it. Know that. Operate from that place and watch what happens. Your life is going to begin to change for the better. And remember, your life can't get better without change.
Wonderful, Jessica. That was an awfully powerful statement you made right there. And if you were touched by something that Jessica said today, you can definitely find us on changingmindsonline.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, SoundCloud, because we are here for you. We want to make sure that you are empowered, you are inspired, and you are motivated.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And, if reach out to us, go to our Facebook page. Facebook, it's Changing Minds Online. We have our website, changingmindsonline.com. Write some comments on this page. Go onto our Facebook page and post to our page and tell us what you're taking away from this call, what you're going to change in your life. Declare it. Say, I'm going to change my relationship. I'm going to change my health. I'm going to change my finances. Go, just put it out there. There is power in making declarations publicly. So please let us know. Email us, contact us at changingmindsonline.com. Tell us what you're changing. Ask us for our advice. We answer every email that we receive. We love to hear from you. We love to help coach you guys, and especially in a more intimate way like that. Just let us know what what you need. And if there's something that you want us to talk about on these Sunday night calls, let us know that too, because we're more than happy to be flexible and to cover whatever topics that, you want to hear. We do this for you. But, we always end our call. I always end our calls by telling you that we love you. Make it a great week. God bless, and thank you so much for calling in and allowing us to really be part of your journey in making your lives better. We love you guys. God bless. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.